What's up, everybody? CJ Collio here. If you don't know who I am, I went from being a frustrated, overworked UPS driver to $90 in just 5 years. And now I have a very large portfolio that allows me to do this full time and help other investors do the same. Today, I'm with Gavin Hayashida, who's a massive action taker. And you're going to love his story because he's going to share a little bit about where he actually lives. And we'll break down his most recent deal. So, Gavin, welcome. And you want to tell everybody a little bit about your background, where you are, what you do?
Thanks, CJ. I'm currently living in southern Japan. I'm originally from Hawaii, and I've been here for about 17 or 18 years now.
And what do you do as a profession out in Japan?
I teach English, assistant language teacher, and I also have my own English tutoring school.
Wonderful. And before coming across WNN and getting into our space, how long were you looking to invest in real estate?
Well, I just got serious maybe a few months before I came to WNN, and I heard from a friend WNN was a very good mentorship. So that's why I looked it up, did some research, and then joined.
Awesome. And since being in our space, we're recently celebrating your close on your first deal. Is that correct?
Yes, we are.
Tell us a little bit about the deal. Where did you find it? What was the process that you went through?
I was researching many houses using Zillow and put in many offers. And finally, this one got accepted. And I got it for, I think it was going for about a little under 100,000. And I was able to put an offer in for maybe 10,000 to 15,000 under asking. And then after the inspection, we were able to negotiate it down even further.
Wow. So you were able to lock up the deal, 10, 15 grand under asking. And then through the process with the right team members, you were able to restructure the offer based off of the new findings. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
I can't imagine that's an easy process, especially being out of state, let alone out of country. What was one thing that you leaned on to find success with renegotiating from such a far distance?
Well, I worked very closely with my realtor, and she helped guide me through the whole process. And also my WNN mentor helped me and coached me through the whole process.
So you had a lot of support is what it sounds like, which gave you some confidence, because I can't imagine, what were you feeling when you were going through the process where you're like, I offered this, but now new things surface. How am I going to make this deal work? Can you share on the emotional side? What were you experiencing?
Everything was new to me. This was my first deal, so I was very confused and I was very nervous because it's a pretty big purchase. And there was a few times where I kind of just had panic attacks. And Brandon from WNN, he talked me down and calmed me down and got me through everything.
And I know from being on the inside, seeing some of the behind the scenes stuff, that even up till closing, you got faced with some challenges. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. I had several unexpected challenges that popped up throughout the whole process. Several things that people living within the States don't have to deal with, but somehow I found a way through it all.
Yeah. Could you give some example of what you got to do to get to closing on this deal? I think it's powerful.
Well, one example is I need to get a notary to get the deal closed. And the only place that does notaries in my area is about a 4-hour drive one way away. So I had to take the day off of work, drive 4 hours away to the American consulate, get my papers notarized, then drive the 4 hours back here.
So a total of, I mean, that's over 8 hours, it sounds like, because not to mention the time you're getting notary, your prep time, making sure your family's taken care of, that you're leaving work. I mean, you spend a full day just to ensure closing, where on the state side, it could be as easy as walking into a bank and getting a notary done. But your commitment level. I really feel that's inspiring for a lot of new investors who say, I don't have the time. Well, you went and created the time to get to closing. That's awesome. Let's talk about the deal now. So you recently closed. Is there a rehab involved?
Yes, there is. Recently, well, it's winter now, so they had a big snowstorm which delayed the rehab. But I believe today they're going to start the rehab.
Awesome. And when you were analyzing this deal, how did you get the rehab numbers to make sense?
First off, I looked at the pictures and everything, and I ran my rehab numbers using the rehab calculator. So I got my two lists on the rehab calculator. I had my wish list with all the things I wanted to be done. And then I made another one with the things that I think had to be done. And So I went into the deal with those numbers, and after I locked it down and locked the purchase price, then I adjusted the numbers to fit within the budget that I had planned.
Awesome. So you're able to leverage the resources and tools in the space to create what you ideally want and what is needed. And from there, you're able to assess what rehab budget needs to look like. So now that we're in rehab, what are you projecting this property to rent for? What's your rental range?
I'm thinking we're gonna start off at 14,000 because it's on the bigger side and it has a storage shed on it too. So it's bigger than other properties. So we're gonna try a little higher and work it down from there.
Awesome. All right, Gavin. So we're looking to rent this property out. What's your expected rental range for the property?
Well, I'm hoping for $1,400, but maybe on the low side, $1,200.
Okay, so $1,200 to $1,400 a month gross rental income. What would you share if you're open to it? Your all-in expected amount of money for this deal.
For this deal, I'd say it was about 150,000 or so.
So pretty close to the 1% rule, which means you're going to be cash flowing. Is that correct?
That's the plan. I hope so.
And we won't know until we work through the process. And I want to emphasize and share that, Gavin, the way that you've shown up throughout the entire process, it wasn't easy for you from the get-go, being that you're out of country. However, you trusted the process, you leveraged the community, you leveraged the network, you leveraged the team, you got creative, and you showed your commitment through all the ups and downs that people are unaware of until they're in it to get to closing and now in rehab. So I can only imagine that you'll create success with finding the right renter and getting this property performing so you can move on to your next. So I want to know, what's next for you after this deal?
Well, right now I'm trying to raise some private money. I got about 3 people that showed some up. So I was always a little nervous about working with private money lenders. And to my surprise, 2 people I didn't even think would be interested got back to me and said they're interested.
Right. If you never put it out there, you never know. And you're doing exactly that. That's super encouraging. And I can only imagine you'll have another deal in your pipeline very soon. So as we begin to wrap this up, Gavin, for somebody that may be new to the space that might be questioning the challenges or finding a reason to say, I don't have enough time, what would you tell them?
If you want it bad enough, you're going to make the time, because I felt like I didn't have the time, but I was able to get it all done, got it to the finish line, and now I'm working on my second one.
Amazing. So guys, you heard it from Gavin Hayashida. He's a massive action taker who's living out of country and creating results. And he's trusting the process along the way, even though it may not go as smooth as he wants it to. He's showing persistence through his action. So if you want to learn more about this, click the link below and schedule a call with one of my team members. And I look forward to seeing you in the community.